good morning, good afternoon, good evening, 3, 2, 1, and we're live with another edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from my news feed and also my thoughts, ideas, perspectives on those headlines, on the article, on the subject matter at large, on whatever happens to come up between all of us here and between here. But it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. I'm Angela, did I say that? And the channel is Be Fabulous You. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of those other wonderful things you do. Because we're working on 1,000 new subscribers. Are you one of the charter subscribers? Thank you if you are. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here. Okay, let's see what the Buddha had to say before, so we can kind of start to frame this news up, so we have a perspective where we look at some of this foolishness. Here we go. Did y'all coordinate on that? Is this some coordination? Okay. All right. Oh, Lord, where the Buddha at? Buddha? Oh, here you go. Is that today's? Hi, Miss Sonia. You have to do your own work. Enlightened ones will only show the way. Those who practice meditation will free themselves from the chains of death. So it's basically saying you can read about stuff, you can theorize about stuff, you can listen to other people, but you got to get your behind out there and do the work that you are assigned to do. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody can meditate for you. You got to do that work. So go on out there and do what you called to do. Go out and do that. Practice. That's right. Practice. Okay. So that's it. You know, we can help each other, guide each other, but hey, Andre, all of us got to do our work. Okay. And also, Habaragani. Does anybody know the word for today? Do that. Habaragani. Kwanzaa principles. I don't know what the Kwanzaa principle is today. What's the principle? Kwanzaa principles. Warm greetings, Bonafide 1970. Thank you for the flower. Okay. Ujima. You know, I always get Ujima and Ujama confused. Yesterday it was Ujima. Let's see. Let me just confirm that. Hold on one moment, please. Un momento, por favor. Okay, so yesterday we had UJIMA, collective work and responsibility, Ujima. And then today we have Ujama, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Okay, so how we building together, how we profiting together. They had a Sanford and Son episode that used that word. Get out of here. Sanford? I guess it's 50 years old in our country. I mean, I think Kiswahili is older than 50 years old, but it's not an ancient language, is it? Okay, I don't know if I should. I'm not going to leave that open. I'm going to close it. Because I had this old BlackBerry. I can't be texting it too much. All right, so let us proceed with the notes. Lamont goes to Africa. Okay. I'll do some string beans. Peace and blessings, Brother Ayapo. So I probably had like stuff all in my mouth. It's been a long day. You know, I just barely made it here on time. Okay, so let's proceed with the notes on the news feed. Reverend Barber. It's time for a massive move of poor people to come together. You know, I haven't read his book, but I really appreciate Reverend Barber. I can't think of his first name. I really appreciate the fact that I feel like if you do come from a spiritual perspective, if you are a Christian, I feel like I can respect the type of Christian that he appears to be. He appears to take his faith seriously. He appears to take, you know, being like Christ seriously. And I can respect, I mean, I don't know Christ personally. I have a personal relationship with God, but the impression that I have of Christ is compassionate, kind, generous, loving. It's good stuff. So I like when somebody's trying to, embody that. I feel like if that's your thing, 2 hours and a half tonight. Does it start at 9? That's what I'm hoping, it starts at 9 and that I have time to catch it tonight. So I like that he's a warrior. Yeah, and I want to read his work. But and whenever I see him interviewed, it makes me feel a certain way because it's like I can't mimic his body, but he looks like he's in pain to me. Like he looks like he's really uncomfortable sitting. And I think he has a back issue or something, but it make me feel, I just send a prayer for him because he out here, doing what he believe in. I like, the Poor People's Campaign, if I'm not mistaken, is a continuation of the work of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So anyway, Target aims at unmet beauty needs of women of color with 150 products from multicultural founders. Oh, you talk about Jesus, I'm talking about Barber, a warrior. Yes, yes, yes. I believe you. I mean, I've heard the rumors. I've heard some stories here and there. So, I always wonder when these companies, these companies that are founded by Black and brown folks get bought out by these large corporations or begin to be sold in these large corporations, in what ways they're co-opted, in what ways they have to shift what they do to meet the needs. Does it compromise what they're trying to do? I'm always kind of suspicious. I never really have bought any of those types of products from no rumor. The man was vigilant. I love a vigilant man. So do they have to compromise what they're doing in order to, meet their supply chain? Or I don't know. But I usually either, you started talking about his neck and stuff, LOL. Yeah, Barber's neck. Well, it's his back. It's like his whole posture. Like, I can't do it, but it's like it's very, I don't know, it's intense to me. Everything is, so many things are intense to me. And like a lot of products, I either make myself or else I buy, from people who make products if I'm buying those types of products. Like, when's the last time I bought something from a Target? I don't know. Yeah. Nearly 70 years later, Target is targeting our wallets. Target is targeting our wallets. I like to call it Target, when it seems fancy. Nearly 70 years later, Montgomery publisher apologizes for once glorifying lynchings. Right. So what they're doing is they're trying to make themselves, going back to Target, I just processed what you said. If you like, with more and more people buying things off the internet, if you're a small independent business and you're selling things on the internet, and then, Target is trying to compete with that. So that if they can have like 800 products in their store and you just got one product in your store, it's going to be more convenient for people to go and get their stuff theoretically from Target instead of going to get something here, going to get something there, going to get something here, going to get something there. But I don't know, because like back in the day and in some communities, they still have like, stores where people make bread. They have stores where it's like a meat market. Follow the money always. I follow the love. I ain't following no money. Meat market, the bread market, the sweet market, like things were broken up. And I think it's kind of like when you go to like the supermarket and everything is there, I feel like, I guess you have greater variety, but less quality or less integrity. It's like a Gemini vibration, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And I'm not saying if you're a Gemini, don't take it that way. I'm just, I'm not saying all Geminis are like that, but that vibration, it can manifest in that way. Nearly 70 years later, Montgomery publisher apologizes for once glorifying lynchings. 8 to 10:30. Oh, I'm gonna miss the first part. I can't believe it's 2.5 hours. Because we talking about Married at First Sight, but to me, they dragged out the one I watched last night. I'm like, I didn't mean you. I meant you. I'm just talking mess. I'm just talking mess. Don't take it. Don't just ignore me. Okay. Yeah, follow the money. It's true. That's how you kind of try to figure out what's going on and piece together what is really going on. Don't look at the hand, follow the money. Damn right, Ayapo. Get out of here with that love, Angela. Don't nobody want no damn love. Target sees the writing on the wall with our desire to buy black is concerned. I'm sure they study social media just like so many other corporations. Show me the money. Right. So they're definitely studying that to a, and so if they can, hey, buy black at Target and, that's like the health food stuff. Like, a lot of these companies, you can get like vegan food at, Walmart or wherever these grocery stores are, but it's like, it's a mess. It's like the lowest quality, the worst stuff. I mean, I know milking that all the way, right? They milking that, but I'm here for it because our girl is pregnant, I guess. Am I blocked for making comments? These folks are some haters. Who's blocking you? I've been blocked on chats before, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was an accident, because sometimes, you touch these things. Oh, nobody. ALEXA. So I guess the publisher, the person who used to, or the company that used to make these postcards, I didn't read the article, but I guess we've seen images of these postcards that went around. A lot of people block me. People don't want to be bothered with me. Everybody loves me. Dang, there's a joke, but I can't remember it. So these postcards that we've seen going around are people like, hey, I'm at a lynching. Yay, a lynching. I guess somebody published them. Everybody ain't here for the love. Some people are here for the, the fight and the argue and the shade and the drama and the mess and confusion, To some people, I'm very corny. I'm too happy. So I guess, I don't know if they published it, publisher apologizes for once glorifying lynching. So I've only seen I'm here for the food. I ain't got no food for you. But that's always the strategy. I always try to have food for people. But I can't feed. It's soul food. It's spiritual food. I do try to feed you through this little screen right there. So the company is apologizing. I don't really know what to make of it. I don't really have that much interest in apologies. I have an interest in sincere apologies when I'm receptive to sincere apologies, but I feel like it's so much BS out here. Sorry. Y'all don't believe that mess. I ain't got time for that. So I don't know, what the company is, but I do kind of feel like, to me, if you glorify something, like if you did something that was improper and incorrect, like I had somebody call me the other day and he apologized to me and I was listening to his message and he apologized for something that I did not experience, And so it's sort of like, I guess if I felt that he owed, like, if you've been out here glorifying lynching, celebrating lynching, meant it, own it. You meant it, own it. If you out here, but I'm just saying, if it's a real apology, I'm here for it, because I feel like that's how we grow, and we all make mistakes, and that's the truth. We all make mistakes, and when we make mistakes, it's important to try to make things right. The store selling the products themselves, services rendered, etc. Yeah, and I wish we had, on the Buy Black guides. I haven't checked out any of the new ones yet that have come across the stream, but I always want to know, is it how many layers of blackness is it? Because I patronize a lot of black businesses, but I know their suppliers are not black. We're not really so much in. You never make mistakes. We're not really so much in the wholesale business. So, yeah, so I'll blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right. So I feel like if you are out here oh, go to the lynching. Lynchings are fun. Buy these postcards and you made all this money off of it. And then the only way that you can see to make amends is to say sorry. Then that's a sorry to me. But if you were look, we really were incorrect, we were improper, we made mistake, we were wrong. And these are the concrete ways that we are trying to rectify the wrong that we did. Then I might be able to pay attention. I didn't read the article, so I don't know, what kind of amends this publishing company is making, if any, other than just saying sorry. Zara slammed for stealing signature design from South African brand. Now, when I first saw the headline, I thought they stole like a signature design from, like, the blanket people. Like, the blanket people use this pattern in their stuff and they write some checks. You sound like a yapo. Use this pattern in their stuff and they, culturally appropriating from the people. But I think, which is like, how do you compensate the people and how do you get permission from the people to use, our culture, a people's culture? How do you do that? How you do that? I don't know how you do that. Girl, GIRL, I missed that whole thing. But when someone calls you girl, oh, say, yep, goddess in real life. I'm part of Project Goddess. I'm like literally like a goddess. You didn't know that, did you? That's a Detroit thing. You probably have to be in Detroit to even begin to understand how we roll. So, but this was from an actual brand. Like, oh, wow, they let me say it finally. Huh. I'm perfected. So, but this was somebody's brand. Like, I'm like, okay, here's my design. You're absolutely right. RITE. So here's my design. And then Zara took my literal design that I designed as a person. Oh, bless you. No, I was Goddess Gila. I don't think we had our class. We were the OGs, the original goddesses. And then we had Singularity. I can't remember the other groups of women, but we were the OGs. I like that. I'm an OG. Because it seemed kind of like, street, like I'm an OG. Nobody says that anymore. But, to me, it seemed kind of cool, like I'm an OG. But it's also like original goddess. It's funny to me, but anyway. So yeah, I think Zara should be slammed for stealing somebody's work. That's janky. But I think a lot of these companies do that as a rule. They look for small companies that they can, just steal from, basically, and jack up. Serena Williams explains why she chose to marry a white man. And I actually skimmed the article. One, I was kind of surprised because I'm like, first I was like, well, do the black men explain why they choose to marry white women? And then I'm like, I guess in a way they do. They say that, the white women are more feminine, more beautiful, know how to treat men. Like you hear all of these things about how the wonderfulness of, the white women. So I guess that's the men explaining, why they choose the white women. So at first I was kind of like, oh, she got to explain why she chose to do what she do and she grown. But she said she wanted someone who would be nice to her, who would respect her, understand her life. It was like 3 or 4 things. And she said she never thought she would marry a white man. But, there it is. Was it yesterday or the day before when we were talking about interracial dating? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like philosophically like, like I feel like if it was a whole different kind of world where, people just like somebody can't be mad, like, they leave out the part where they're always on their best behavior with her. Yeah. Oh, you talking about the men. Oh, and she might be on her best behavior with him. Because I feel like, can you really just... I don't know. I've never been in so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Because like I feel like in a world, like just like if someone like I've been married twice. Both of the men that I was married to were older than me. But nobody is like, or maybe people are, but nobody has ever said to me, "Oh, you're always marrying older men." Although I've dated men of all ages, but it does just so happen, or maybe I don't know, maybe it doesn't just so happen, but I have been married to men who are older than me. And nobody, like, it's not like it's I don't know, but like if I married somebody 10 or 20 years young, I dated somebody who was about like 5 or 10 years younger than me, and he was really like too much. And he kind of turned me off. I was kind of like, it's too much, damn, you get around. All right, I get around. When I decided to date, at first when I got divorced, I wasn't dating. I wasn't even thinking about dating. It was not even on my radar. And then it was just like spirit, whatever. It was like, oh, I'm ready to date. And then when I started dating, it was like it's a whole pipeline thing. You can't just like meet a person and think it's going to turn into it's like you got to have a whole bunch of people in the pipeline in order to, or that's how I approached it. I know some people are like, I'm just going to sit and, he or she will appear. And I guess that works for some people. But to my mind, I was like, dating sucks. I love dating. I was like, I gotta, we gotta get this pipeline, we gotta get some, some. So yeah, I dealt with a lot, and I like people. So dating is fun to me. I told y'all, it's like traveling. It's like a whole nother person, a whole nother world, a whole nother set of experiences, a whole nother, worldview and perspective. It's like exciting. It's like fun to me. I mean, I don't know. And that was something like I realized, like when I started coaching other women on dating, it was kind of like, it's so fun, it's so exciting. I hate dating, all negotiations for me. Yeah. I mean, I just thought everybody, I'm like, isn't it fun? And they're like, no, dating sucks. I hate dating. I'm like, but everybody don't like to travel. Everybody don't like people. I had to learn that. I had to realize that. So anyway, she explained why she dated the white man, and some of her, the people, and she also talks about her concern because she has a daughter, and she says that her body, people were I don't know if she used the language of policing, she might have, but people were basically commenting on her body because remember, she was in the public eye very young, and so can't be liking everybody. I Well, see, I believe in liking people appropriately. Like, it's some people that you have to be like, hey, what's up? And then there's some people who you can get like close to and spend time with. And some people you could just say, hey, what's up, with a smile, like once a year. If it's more than that, my jaw start getting tight and, but, oh, negotiations broke down, by the way, but no love lost. Okay, that's a whole nother question. I'm like, I don't know what the negotiations are. But yeah, it's some people, I mean, I feel like we can't find common ground with everybody somehow, some appropriate distance, some way to be respectful. Don't feel bad. I don't. Okay. I won't. Okay. I'm not going to go cry tonight. Maybe tomorrow night. I'm going to go cry tomorrow night. But tonight, I'm not going to feel bad. So she talks about the concern why we keep making excuses for not loving each other as Black people. It's so sad. We really need to promote Black love, especially nowadays. Yeah. I feel like, but I guess for me, when I process it, I think of self-love, and it's just like a natural extension to me. Like, I feel like it is kind of confusing to me when I see like, it's like I love like my first cousins, for whatever reason, I'm like, a lot of my male first cousins, I'm crazy about them, but it's like they're like me, or like my little brother. I'm like, he's so smart, wonderful, and talented, and the girls think he's handsome too. I love him. So it's like when I'm dealing with people who are like the people that I love and adore and appreciate, and who are love and adore and appreciate me. So it's like it's a certain, and it's gonna come from within. It's like, because I love me and mine, it seemed like I'd have to make a whole bunch of steps to get outside of that circle. And I feel like it's so many wonderful people inside the circle. Now, shoot, maybe, the next time I have to date, I may not have as many options, you know. Um, you guys feel worse about it than I do. Oh, well, you know, I don't know because I feel like, you know, I have had, I don't know if it's the privilege or I don't know, but you know, I've never had any challenges dating personality wise or whatever. But if I wanted to be married and I couldn't, you know, you know, and when I wanted to be married, I wanted to be married. So that's, you know, so I don't know what I would do. Self-love is the key. Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I was like, I want to be married. Like, cause I don't know if I did there was a talk at the museum about women in Brazil and the black women in Brazil. Dang, she used this word, but it's kind of like a lot of the black women in Brazil feel like unloved, unappreciated. But there was a term she used because there's so much glorification of, you know, a non-black woman and a mixed race woman or a white woman or whatever, that is very, very difficult. This woman who was making a presentation at the Wright Museum was talking about how the women really, a lot of the black women really feel, you know, alone, rejected, isolated. And I could really relate to it because I think that maybe to a lesser extent in this country, I'm not really sure because there was even language. Um, oh my God. It was a language she used about like, it wasn't skin hunger, but it was something about like, you know, the distress of the black woman in Brazil for not being loved, not being valued, not being appreciated. And it kind of, I don't know. You know, and it's like also when I look at, like, I used to watch Ocho Cinco, and then there was this other dark skin, I think they were both football players, but they were like just, you know, all over themselves to get with, just, these are people, I don't know people intimately in my circles who are like that, except for my cousin. I had a conversation with him about that. But you know, all over themselves to get light women. And then when you look at their mothers look like me. And it's like, it's completely off the charts, even worse than here, but hidden from the mainstream media. Okay. But it's like, that kind of makes me feel like those men are really suffering from a lack of love of self. Like, they don't love their blackness, they don't love their mama, they don't, like, dang, I mean, you ain't picking nobody to. And I had that conversation with one of my cousins. I'm like, you know, every woman I see you with, you know, is light, like racially ambiguous. And we talked about it. And I remember we were driving across country and it was like the middle of the night and we was just kicking it and talking. And now he's married to a woman and he said her hands look like my grandmother's hands. And she looks like his sister. His sister looks like me. He's lighter than us. But, you know, it's like, now I don't know if what I said to him had any, you know, impact. Because I was surprised. I'm like, he with her? Like, she looked like a regular old black woman. She cute, you know, but I'm just saying she ain't, you know, she don't look like his type. You look at his children, you know, it's, you know. So it's like he was climbing all over himself not to deal with, you know, him and his people. Now, Iyapo, love. Oh my, what was the statement you made about love is trying to not find the people who make you miserable? Let me keep going. The millions who would make your life a living hell. No. No. And Sonia sees, I disagree with you agreeing with that. I rebuke you. Y'all are a mess. The people fighting pollution with plastic-free periods. So we were talking about the ubiquityness of plastics, and the diapers, the sanitary napkins have those plastics too. So there are people who have some different options for dealing with their cycle other than using these mainstream plastic type products. Women in Iraq's refugee camps taught to sew. So it's kind of like an old school skill in a way. You can old school sewing machines, but I guess it's designed to give them like a skills set like something. Now I don't know, like when I was in India I thought it was interesting. Like I remember buying this cloth and somebody like sewed it up to me for me to make like a sleeping bag liner, you know, that I could wash easily and keep in my sleeping bag to help keep it clean and stuff when I was traveling. But or I didn't wash it, but you know, you pay the people, you know, you pay the people to sew the stuff for 2 cents, you pay the people to wash the stuff for 2 cents, you know. So I don't know. Oh, it's a cardinal in the backyard. Now I don't know. Oh yeah, there's the other one. I was gonna say cardinals come in couples. And they love each other. And no other cardinal is gonna make them miserable. You make yourself miserable. Misery is an inside job. So I don't know, like if you do have that job of like, you know, you can have people make things for you relatively quickly, inexpensively. It's all over the place, it seems. And I don't know if that's like enough to sustain you. So I don't know if women in a refugee camp learning that skill would be something that would be sustainable. You know, I'm not sure, but I guess that's the theory behind it. Chinese restaurant in Toronto ordered to pay $10,000 because Minister Farrakhan is what saved me. I don't know how I honestly don't know how any black person does not have issues with self-love. Like when I was 10 years old, my mother shaved my hair off and she's like, "Oh my God, because you would be so pretty with a short afro." And you know, I didn't go to one of the African Center schools in Detroit. So when I went to school, and before I already knew it was going to be a problem because I was already skinny and, you know, dark skin and had nappy hair, and now it was short. So it was like, it was just awful and it was terrible. But I don't know, you know, and nobody was there affirming me. And my mother, you know, so she was trying to, but I don't know how any black person makes it, you know, to adulthood or to a space where you can heal yourself without, you know, experiencing various forms of self-hate, you know. Like I feel like even if you're light skinned, I think you can hate the blackness, hate dark skinnedness, you know what I mean. Like I think we there's so much hate directed toward us. I don't even know who Phil Hartman is. You tell it to Phil Hartman. Who is Phil Hartman? So yeah, I feel like we're all, you know, I feel like it's an ongoing thing, and there's like so many layers of propaganda. We need healing more than any race. There's so many layers of propaganda and hate and hostility directed toward us, like, you know, just, you know, from within, from without, from here, from there, up, down, low, over to the right. You know, it's like, it seems like everywhere you go, you know, people just hate the blackness. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, seeing that for what it is. Saturday Night Live star wife shot him in the back of the head as he slept. Why don't you try to come up with some positive examples? Chinese restaurant in Toronto ordered to pay $10,000 to black customer forced to prepay for the meal. So I guess everybody else paid for the meal after the black people came in. Make this what kind of stuff make you hate yourself, make you kind of be like, dang, it's just so hard. I wish I could just be white and go into a restaurant like everybody else and pay for the meal after. They making me pay for the meal before. You know, it's like all the little things, and they just nudge you and nudge you and nudge you and nudge you. I'm positive his white shot his behind in the back of the head as he slept. Propaganda from every source: the miseducation system, the media, social mores and folkways, etc., our friends, our family. You know, it's like the TV, the movies, the books. It's like an onslaught. You know, I think when you do get some relief, you can start to begin to kind of see things for what it is. But like, it's almost like you got to stay woke and alert and ever vigilant, because like if you just, before you know it, you don't absorb some bull. You know what I mean? So it ain't no joke being you know, a happy black person to me, and like a black person who loves yourself, let alone being able to love other black folks, let alone being able, is it Ujama? No, not, it's cooperative economics, sensory overload. why Detroit's independent bookstores matter and have been steadily growing. We have a wonderful independent bookstore here. Well, one main one I know of, I think I started breaking out of my self-hate when I hit my 20s. That's what Bonafide 1970 was saying. Yeah, I think I was probably like in my 20s. And I don't know, like if I had stayed in Detroit, I don't know what would have happened to me, you know? It was like being, hi, True Royal family. It was like being, like, because I remember, like, as a kid, my best friend was like light skin with green eyes and straight hair. And I remember one time we went to this haunted house and something happened. We were like on this double date thing. And so we were like leaving, like running, like, we're scared, we're running. And we fell. And both guys went over to her and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, am I visible? And it was like, it was a weird experience. Like I didn't say anything out loud, but I kind of felt like, diminished. And like, that was kind of like my experience of Detroit. Like I was invisible in a way. And when I went to New York, it was kind of like, I remember, I think I told y'all this. I remember the first time I was like on the train and some guy was like talking to some woman like behind me. And so I turned around like, cause usually I'm invisible and I'm just watching the interaction. Like, who he talking to? And he was talking to me. Like I turned around, I'm like, who is he talking to? And I was like, oh, he's talking. And it was like a whole different vibe, especially in Brooklyn. But it was a whole different vibe in New York for me than in Detroit. Now I would have, when I was a child, when I was a young woman and a child, I would have older men like, hey, how old are you? You look about 12. I'm like, I'm not 12. I'm 16 and I'm not a dumb 16. But why are you talking to a little girl who you don't know, somebody's child who you think is 12, sir? I had a lot of old men, or old, I was like, what the hell kind of pedophilia? Excuse my language. What in the world kind of philia bull is this? I'm not down with this. So, okay. So yay for independent bookstores. Perverse perverts. Drones deliver blood and medical supplies in Rwanda. So computers, machines delivering, medical supplies and blood and stuff. Cuisines of enslaved Africans, food that traveled along with the slave ships. So we were talking the other day about okra because I was saying I don't like okra. And somebody was like, well, that's, one of our legacy foods that came over with us from Alkebalan, from Mama Africa, okra, rice, there were 4 or 5 things. Probably peanuts. I don't know, but I clicked on the article. But what we clapping for? Look, I'm clapping. I don't even know why we clapping. Yay! Yay! Oh. Remember when her show was first coming on and she did all of those, like, I'm Oprah. She did all those little promos so people could learn to pronounce her name. Drones. Oh, we talked about that. Brazil fire, Sao Paulo tower block collapses. Oh, that's right. So there was, the last I heard, or from this situation, I heard that there was one person that made their transition in this fire. So prayers, out to that person as they make or are making their transition into their family and community as well. I wanted to click on the article. It's taking a minute. It's not coming up. Oh, here it is. Because it was, at least one person has died after the 26-story building in Brazil's largest city collapsed 90 minutes after catching fire. An hour and a half seems like, how long it takes to build a building like 26 stories? It takes way more than 90 minutes. And like in 90 minutes, it's like collapsed. And it kind of makes me think about like, and I thought about this before, but it's like whenever I think about that, like how easy it is, or how much more relatively easy it is to tear something down than to build something up, how, you know, creating something, you know, like if you grow a baby in your belly or a baby grows in your belly, I guess you ain't really like, okay, time for the ears, but you know, a baby, you know, then like that's like a process. And somebody that creation can be ended, you know, it don't take 9 months to yeah, relationships, trust, building, etc. Yeah. Yeah. So prayers out to them. It was very disturbing. Reputation, creating takes more effort. So what are we creating? What are we building? You know, what are we putting our energy into? And our like, and you know, how seriously are we taking those creations? Because like something like your reputation and like your integrity and like your word, you know, they say be very slow to give your word, you know, to say you're gonna do something, because you know you start to get that reputation, you know, like just, you know, all those positive aspects. But just, you know, there are some things that we should, you know, be very guard very carefully. And you know, I was thinking about Ujima, um or maybe what was the first principle? I forgot the first principle, but I was thinking about unity. Um, and this idea of, you know, we can't be unified on everything. Maybe that was because I was listening to your video, Iyapo, but we're not going to be unified on everything. But Umoja, thank you. So I was thinking about Umoja, and you know, we can't, it's probably like we're probably like, unless we're the same person, we're not going to be unified on everything. And so, you know, there's this expression, I think it's a president, a white president who said it, but I really like the idea of it. It's this idea of, in on matters of principles, stand firm like a rock, and on everything else, you know, be flexible. That's not the way that the expression goes, but that idea of, you know, I think that, you know, I think it would be nice if we could have some principles that we could, you know, we all agree, you know, or you know, yeah, deal with some principles. And then with other stuff, you know, if you like, you know, like, I don't know if I have to micromanage everything, you know what I mean? But if we can agree on these core principles, it's a go. If we can't agree on these core principles, it's a no. Like, you know, like marriage and relationships, same idea to me. Um, so yeah, I was thinking, but anyway, I don't even know how I got there. Um, Serena, oh, so this was a whole nother article. I guess Serena has two different articles or whatever. Serena Williams talks candidly about fears for her daughter. I've been body shamed, she did use that language, since I've been in the public eye. And the ways in which people try to control, that's how any army works, a common goal achieved by men and women of different backgrounds and beliefs agreeing on a single matter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you know, I was kind of like, when we were talking about Umoja the other, or when I, you know, it's kind of like I just kind of like had like, well, this is kind of impractical. How, you know, like I'm like, I need to do, because when I was at Kwanzaa every year, it's like, you know, every day you'd be like, yes, Umoja, Kuchi Chaklia, you know, it's like, yes, I agree 100%, yes. But when we were talking about it the other day, I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe I just got caught up in the, but so that's how I was thinking about it. So, and what's the today we're Ujama, cooperative economics. Okay. Feminist. Oh, so I've been body shamed since I've been in the public eye. And I feel like people are way more you know, have a lot more commentary on the bodies of women and the bodies of Black women in particular than anybody else. I mean, just people just feel like they can just, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like her experience, I can imagine she's had, you know, a lot of public and private comments about her body that are probably very disorienting and disturbing. Because, you know, especially as a girl, I don't know if boys go through this, but, you know, you developing breath, you know, like it's all kinds of stuff going on, and you feel really self-conscious, and, you know, you almost want to hide. And then if you're in the public eye and people are making commentary and you like, because those little girls were like, what, 12, 11, 13? They were young when they, I think, I don't know. I think in many ways I'm impressed with, especially their graciousness. I was always just so impressed with their graciousness. Like they seemed so gracious. And, you know, feminist Amber J. Phillips on American Airlines police incident. I expect my fatness and my blackness to be held together with dignity. So I'm not exactly clear what happened. I kind of started skimming the article. I don't know of a single black man who ever said anything negative about Serena Williams' body. I don't know what the deal was, but the person was on an airplane. And for any of us who have been on airplanes, unless you're flying, first class, you really don't have a lot of space. And it's sort of like you share your armrest. And if you're in the window or the aisle, you have a dedicated armrest. But there is like kind of an element of sharing when you fly. It's and so the woman is like, before the plane was even starting, the person next to her was like, could you move your arm? Could you not touch me? Like, it was like the person was really expressing a lot of hostility and anger. Like, could you move? And it's like, we on a plane. And this woman, I guess, who wrote this piece or who this happened to is not like a small woman. So it's kind of like, I can get on a plane and I can fold myself up away from everybody almost. You know what I mean? Y'all just going back and forth and forth about old Serena. And Venus is so long and lanky. See, I'm commenting on her body. So it's kind of like, I don't know if she ended up getting thrown off the plane, but she was saying she felt like this woman was basically trying to get her thrown off the plane before the plane ever left the ground. There was the woman was like just on her to like move and not touch her. And it's only so much you can do on the plane. So she tweeted about it. This is coming off the Griot. I didn't read the article. Hashtag moving while black. I think I heard about this on the radio this morning. How ex-Obama staffer got fingered as a burglary suspect by 6 cops. I think he was moving. I didn't know I thought he was at his house, but he was moving into his house, and his neighbors called the police and said, I think it's not in this life or any other. I think it's a robbery in progress. So, I kind of feel like I'm processing, because it's kind of like, well, what's he doing moving? Admiral Phillips said that they only had 2 classes on the plane, first class and second class. Unfortunately, they didn't have a coon class. So at first I was kind of like, well, why he moving into a white neighborhood? Or, why didn't he like meet his neighbors before he moved in? But like, it's kind of like I'm making him twist and turn in ways that other people don't necessarily have to twist and turn. And it's sort of like, now if he was in, I don't know, it's just the same thing happened to Dr. Henry Louis Gates. Is that what happened? He was moving, or he had locked his keys out and then he was trying to get in Coon Class Deluxe? Now you need a whole menu for Coon Class Deluxe. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It sounds good though. It sounds like a comedy skit. Coon Class Deluxe. Welcome aboard Celebrity Slave Ship, departing the Gold Coast and making quick stops at Bahia, Port-au-Prince, and somewhere before our final destination of Savannah. Y'all still talking about Miss Serena. See, and that's something too. Hey, S. Wiseman. Roxanne was saying that, all of these people all her life fried chicken and buttered biscuits. All these people all her life would be like, Roxanne, I want to be your man. And like that whole, like, it can be intense. So I'm sure it's intense for Serena all around. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got arrested, because the Henry Louis Gates thing didn't that turn into Beergate, where the president was like, can't we all just get along? Let's have a beer. One of his racist neighbors called the cops on him, and the cops arrested him for trespassing on his own property. Right, we don't own property. We can't own property because we Negroes. We can't even own ourselves. The Handmaid's Tale costume designer wants us to fuel the fire with visuals. I gotta get my little cousin here to help me. I gotta get Hulu. I gotta do something, because the Handmaid's Tale is back, and they were talking about the costumes, and the costuming is really beautiful. The color, the imagery, the visuals with that TV show are just, you could just watch it with the sound down, and it's just so stimulating and interesting and just intense and powerful and like poignant and evocative. It's just like, I don't know who the costume, like this was an interview with the costume designer, and the costume designer was talking about like how quickly things move in TV. And so a lot of times, even like, that things happen, like you might want to plan something out, but you don't really have as much time as you thought you had to plan it out because the scene got to be shot. And then also the person who was interviewing was asking questions like, well, did you do this because of this? And they're like, I hadn't even thought about that, maybe subconsciously because of this. But like the way that it is, like sometimes when you talk to an artist about their work and they're like, you're like, I love this piece because it means blah 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 blah, and the artist is like, oh, does it? Like, I just threw the paint on the thing and then it's how it looked and I liked it, so I was like, let's frame it. Like, it's not that deep. I hated how the former president dealt with the situation. The so-called beer summit was an embarrassment, to say the least. Yeah. I think he was trying to like, yeah. I feel like he was kind of like, to me, he was kind of like in a bad situation. You know, that's how I feel. I just feel like it wasn't really nothing he could, it was like a no-win situation. Teacher accused of inappropriate relationship sought after her teen student disappears. Pure coon move. Now, I used to work with this woman when I worked in a high school in the Bronx, when I worked with a union that was a partner in a school, and there was this one teacher there. She was the coach of the boys basketball team, and I had like these 3 running buddies. It was like a crew of 4 of us, and we were like super super tight. But anyway, one of the women in the crew was a playwright, but she was also an English teacher. And one of her students, she would have this like them free write, and had them, you would never believe. And one of the children, I bet he'd have figured out how to handle it. Yeah, Malcolm X was rather, I don't know if he was perfect. I doubt he was perfect, but he was really, he was very, and Obama is not no dumb man now, but Malcolm X was very, his analytical skill, he had a lot of his mind was very like strong and sharp and like powerful. He had a lot of insight and wisdom. Those are my affirmations these days. I'm asking for insight and wisdom. Pure coon crackling bread. Oh, so anyway, this woman, so it was like one of the teachers was like, okay, kids, y'all free write today, and you free writing about something you'd never believe. And one of the boys was like, you'd never believe that I had sex with, but he wasn't for our people. You'd never believe that I had sex with this particular teacher who was also the coach of the boys football team, the boys basketball team. And so we didn't, it ended up being like this whole thing. And I had always believed there was something, to me, there was something in the way she interacted with the children that I could never quite put my finger on. And when that came out, I was like, oh, now that makes sense. That makes everything, that's one way of looking at it that makes it make sense. And this is a situation, this is coming off of the griot. So I don't know if it's a black woman. I wonder if it's that same black woman. I'll have to check the article. But her teen student disappears and she's disappeared. So you don't hear, we've heard of a lot of white women having relationships with boys, and we've heard of adult male teachers having made all the lights come on. 16. We've heard of men having relationships. There's a white woman teacher on the loose with her 16-year-old student. Oh, it's a white woman? Why is it coming off of the griot? Is the student black? Okay. Well, I didn't click the article. I just read the headline and who it was coming from. Because I was going to say, you really don't hear very often of black women with the student is black and the teacher is white. Wow. You out. So I was totally wrong. Yeah. The student is black. Okay. well, prayers out. And it's kind of like when somebody has groomed you and you've been, it's kind of like it's a, it's like getting your, you know, recovering from that is a thing, and you need assistance. And a lot of times, especially, I feel like boys don't really get assistance. Like if a woman has had inappropriate relations with a boy, it's almost like, yeah, I'm a man. It's like, they don't really get the support that they need. Obama was, as Reverend Wright stated, a politician. He probably just made a calculation on what would be the most politically expedient. Yeah, he's a politician. Grieving, that happened to my ex-husband. I think it happens to a lot of men and boys. I think it happens to a lot of boys, and I don't think, I think even though we process it differently a lot of times, adopting teen black male students is a new trend among white women. Yeah, I think even though we process it differently, when an adult woman has sex with a boy than we do when an adult man has sex with a girl, I don't really think that it's there probably are some things that are different, but I still think it's vile, and I still think it's a violation. I don't think it's healthy, because it's not consensual. It's like it's not your peer, like they're pure as the driven snow, but in reality, many of them are worse than their men. Well, and complicit in the whole situation. It's like it's a good cop, bad cop type situation. They have always been doing that. It's just now starting to come out 10 times worse. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're support, like they're part of the system. I got a flag today. You got a flag today on your channel? More reasons why we need to homeschool. Yeah, more reasons why we need to homeschool. I don't even know how the flag system works. You have a huge channel though. But I know I can't remember. I was following the Queen's Court, this foolishness drama, but there was one of them. It was like every time they tried to get up, the people would flag them and flag them and flag them and flag them. And it was like they were trying to destroy the person. And I feel like once I guess some people have backup channels and like all different sorts of, my shit buffering. I went off on Amber Phillips. Oh, is that who y'all were talking about earlier, who I didn't know who it was? Amber Phillips. Oh, yep, that's who you mentioned earlier, Yapo. So I don't even know who the heck Amber Phillips is. And you just told me, and we definitely need to support Black Junction TV. Hey, Unsunken One. So we were on somebody's live the other day, and they were talking about Black Spot and Black Junction, and they said one was better. Was it Black Junction? Is that the one where people are like, I get way more views on it. It's way more trafficked. I know that the one put a lot of time and effort in developing, but this one is, because I was like, well, maybe I'll just pick one. I don't care. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. They can flag me all they want. That's what you're saying. I don't care. Grieving Pennsylvania mother arrested instead of being allowed to see her dying son. Black Junction is better. I just wanted to see him. So I heard Amber is dating Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't even know who them people are, what that is. So they investigating, but see, the thing is that her son has made his transition, so she wanted to see her son while he was making his transition, before he made his transition, and instead of allowing her to see her son, she was arrested. So she's already like in a delicate, traumatic, jacked up type situation, because what mother, we do see, there are parents who lose children, but it's not like the most common thing, and it's not like, in the natural order of things. I like Black Junction TV. Okay, I'm locking it in. I'm trying to lock it in so I can go on, and because I think I'm not going, I gotta find my business. I gotta give somebody some money. I got these $10 burning a hole in my pocket. I'm supposed to be spending it with the blacks, with the black people, with the true royal family. So I was like, maybe I'll go on and give them some money. So, you know, so she can't, they arresting her. Her child is making the transition. She can't be with her child also. I mean, I don't know what it's like to make your transition and to die, but I always feel like if you can be there for someone when they're making their transition, like I feel like her son probably needed her there. I mean, I'm sure that the ancestor, I'm sure it's all good and it's all God, but I don't know. And so now they investigating after the fact. To me, that's like a sour, like what the hell, what is the investigation going to do? The investigation is not going to allow the mother to be with her son when he makes his transition. It's not going to allow the son to have his mother with him while he's making his transition. And why was the son making his transition? Was it? So anyway, it's coming off of Atlanta Black Star. I didn't read the article because I don't have the emotional, reserves right now for say Rowdy Chica. I don't. I got too. It's a lot. I've been up since 5 this morning, so we got to hold it together, and I got other stuff I got to do. Brazil. So anyway, prayers out to the son who made his transition, and prayers out to the mother and to the family and to the community, and to all. It's like it's not like that happens to us. And has happened to us time and time again that we, want to be there for one another. And this system has gotten in the way of us being there for one another. We can be there for one another in spirit, and that's powerful. And, we acknowledge that, and that's wonderful. And at the same time, it's something, as human beings that are in bodies, that physical being there for each other, that's another level thing, so we've made do, and we have, done the best that we can under the circumstances. But we need each other, and we need, we deserve to have human comfort too. We human beings. I mean, I'm telling y'all like y'all don't know that, but Brazil gymnast accused ex-coach Lopez of sexual abuse. Now the imagery was a young man, like a gymnast, like a young male gymnast. So I don't know if if it was a we chosen. I don't know if it was yes. I don't know if it was a male who was molested by their coach or is accusing their coach of sexually abusing them. But anyway, that's coming off of BBC. Spelman student says she and trans partner received hateful messages in dorm. F you freaks. Now, I think there's a lot of things that I don't know. I guess I just don't really have a good understanding of like why I would go out of my way to like, like put my effort and energy into like being mean or hateful or, critical. Maybe I go out, maybe I use my energy to be critical. I don't know. But I can't imagine, putting messages, writing like, I hate you, like when I could be writing I love you to somebody that I love. Like, why am I spending time? If I hate you so much, why am I spending time with you, on you? It's like a twisted energy. And I think we all suffer from it in varying degrees. Like, I do try to consciously catch myself, and spend my energy building what I want to build and what I want to create, and investing and growing what I want to grow and invest in. And, so yeah. Illinois man linked to racist group busted with small cache of weapons. I think he was on like a college campus with a couple of guns. So, like, was he going to? I may not like or agree with something, but I think people should just leave people alone if they aren't bothering you. There are a lot of trolls out here in the world, not just online. Yeah, trolls. Yeah. And there's like a expression like to for leave it alone, but I can't even think of what it is now. But like basically, yeah, you know, just so I don't know if he was like looking for the black student organization, if he was just going to shoot some random white people, if he wasn't going to shoot people, he was just carrying his guns around. Maybe if the cops had caught me on the day when I had, you know, some of them days when I was carrying my gun around, they might have thought that I was like on my way to a rampage. Although I don't fit the profile of a rampager. Usually it's a white male that's out here shooting, you know, people. But, you know, but he has links to a racist group, so they're thinking that he might have been, you know, I'm thinking that's why they're using that language, that he might have been planning to do something. So that's an Illinois man that's coming off of the griot. Disguised women sneak into Iranian football match. So they put beards on and everything, because I guess the women aren't allowed, or it's illegal for them to go out in public to things like don't nobody want to go to a football game. But if you wanted to go to a football game and you a woman, I guess you can't go unless you dress up like a man. That's what it's. So they snuck into the game by dressing up like men. Referee attacked by Ethiopian footballers for goal decision. So it's like, you know, when you're watching the game and you be like, oh, ref. I don't do that, but you know, that's what the people do. They be like, that's a wrong decision, ref. But these people, the people who were playing soccer, they went and they, you know, they attacked the referee because they didn't like the decision. It was very serious. And people are very serious about these sports. But don't attack the referee. They just trying to do the job. And sometimes I know I have been to, when I used to pay attention to basketball, it's like it seemed like some games, dinner is great. It seems like some games, it just seemed like the referee was just on the other team's side, and that's just how it is sometimes. And you just have to play through it. I mean, you can't, you know. But anyway, mom dragged by school bus after confrontation with driver. Where is this? This was said in Ethiopian footballers. So first of all, it's saying footballers, so we know that's not here because they saying footballers. And then Ethiopian. I love my husband. I love your love of your husband. I love. Yeah. Woo! Okay. Mom dragged by school bus after confrontation with driver. So I think she got on the bus to say something to the driver about whatever. I think she was trying to advocate on behalf of her child. I'm not really clear about that. But I don't think the school bus, I always cook my dinner. I don't think the school bus driver appreciated what she had to say or whatever. And so I don't know if she was trying to get off the bus or if she was trying to get on the bus. Go somewhere else with all that love. Dealing with white society is like playing a sport where the ref is against your team. Yes. Because it's like when you play cards, you know, sometimes you have a bad hand, sometimes you have a good hand. And sometimes it feels like I know sometimes I have played cards and I just feel like it's just like I can't win, but I just don't know how to play good enough to win. It's not because the deck is stacked against me, because it's the luck of the draw. But in the society, it's not the luck of the draw. It's like it's a rigged, fixed, you know, game. It's not fair. And even with the unfairness, you know, still we rise, we thrive. You know, we out here, you know, imagine. I mean, I just like, it's like when I look at black folks, it's like y'all are really sort of great. You get a bad hand and then have to play in a rigged game, right? But when I look at you know, any black, you know, I'm just like amazed, like we were talking about earlier, that anybody is able to love them. You know, it's like that anyone can excel, that anyone can be happy, that anyone can, you know, find love. You know, it's like it's a you know, and then black people do all kinds of stuff above those basic simple things I'm talking about. But it's wonderful. Just imagine when we just in our zone doing our thing. So she was dragged. So the school bus just pulled off. I don't know if she was like, I don't know, but she was dragged by the school bus. And because the driver, I think, didn't like what she had to say. We do have great navigational skills we need to use more of. Yeah. The YouTube stars paid to promote cheating. And I was like cheating on your spouse, but they were like cheating like, hey kiddos, if you know, if what you should do is hire a really smart nerd to write your paper. Well, I admit I admire us. And that's all that matters. So they're being paid to promote cheating. We are indeed spectacular, which is why they're so heated. Pure, unbridled envy. True royal. How is the royal family? Wonderfully, wonderful, wonderful. So I don't know how they get paid to promote cheating. Like, I don't know. Are they like, is it a company that I do feel their envy? Facebook will let users see which sites are tracking them. Facebook was all over the news feed today. Like, they're out here doing like the most. I guess now that they've gone to their hearing, they like on to like world domination or on to the next phase. They ain't phased. They like letting you know we ain't phased. We ain't stopping. We going forward. Oh, that's your backup channel. This is my backup channel. Oh, I need to subscribe to it. Actions, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user. Hey, I can moderate from my thing. I was trying to subscribe. Now I see how I can moderate. Because sometimes, like the other night I was on here and it was like, I was like, is somebody about to? No one's ever gotten out of hand. I don't know why I'm even, but yeah. Nigeria attacks. Mosque bomb blast killed 24 in Mubi, M-U-B-I, and that's in Nigeria. I never even heard of Mubi. So rest in peace to the people who made their transition. 24 people is a lot of people, and to their families and the community. The people are bombing mosque. Like, that's places where people go to pray and stuff. Yeah. The house, I'm used to Father God. I'm used to you know, some people I know don't lock doors and stuff. And I'm like, I'm in Detroit. I'm from Detroit. We lock doors here. But they from Detroit too. But they just feel like they just have a shield of protection. And they studying that. It hadn't had any problems. But I'm like, I'm gonna lock this door. That's what I'm gonna do. No. Nigeria bans cough syrup with codeine after addiction outcry. So yesterday when we were talking about it, was it a ban? Because I think this is new today. The ban that cough syrup with codeine is now banned in Nigeria, according to this headline. Iran nuclear row. Tehran says Israel's Netanyahu lied. Are we surprised? I don't think I'm surprised. I don't really know. I'm an old proverb, trust in the Lord and tie your camel up tight. Cop accused in Deontay Yarber killing once faced hate crime charges. Are we surprised? I'm not surprised. You gonna give us one of these faces? I wonder, is the lips going on? I have to look at the thing. So you know, these people out here, you know, doing what they're doing, they come from a certain orientation, they have a certain value system, they're on their agenda. Does it even have a mouth? It's just red. How to shift the state of Black and Latinx tech entrepreneurship. Surgeon says Kanye West can't use his photo for album cover. Don't put my picture out there and claim you are about love. Kanye out here doing the most. Armenia's revolution that won without a bullet fired. Armenia's revolution that won without a bullet fired. Taj Mahal color change worries India's Supreme Court. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's getting old and it needs to be power washed or pressure washed. Facebook provides more ways to help in a crisis. Didn't I tell y'all Facebook was all over the feed? Facebook Messenger will begin translating English to Spanish soon, and then they're going to expand to other languages. And I'm about to get off Facebook. Facebook is blowing up, and I'm on the countdown. I posted up yesterday. I'm leaving Facebook. Just how you, I'm leaving Facebook. Why a black lawyer says he's too afraid to take wrongly delivered UPS package to his neighbor's house. He got a teenage son. You know, you theoretically be like, take that over to the neighbor. It's definitely possible to win a war that way with strategy. That's what I thought of when I saw that headline. I think we were talking about that the other day. So if like what our next door neighbors on this side, they get a lot of packages, like FedEx mostly, not UPS, but a lot of packages. And sometimes stuff gets misdelivered, mail or whatever, and you just take it next door. You don't think nothing of it. But this man is like, I'm going to leave that stuff right there on the porch. I'm not sending my son over there for someone to say that they thought that he was robbing them or that he was going to attack them and for them to shoot him and or call the police on him. I'm not doing it. UPS can come and get this package and deliver it to my neighbor. That's, you know, so, yeah, I mean, and I feel like I totally understand that. And he's a lot, you know, he's, hey, Angela, see ya, Yapple, Yapple, Bonafide, 1970s, True Royal Family, Royal, Rowdy Chica, 59. What does a 59 mean? Dining while black. Police called after couple refuses to give up table to white customer. I didn't read the article. It's coming off the grill. So you at the restaurant and the people come and they be like some white, this is like the bus. Remember how the buses used to be? You sitting in the seat. You tired too. You want to sit down, and then some white people get on. They don't have no place to sit, so they tell you got to get up. They ain't even got to tell you got to get up. You just know you got to get up because the white people. So you at the restaurant eating, and they say the white people are here. You got to get up. Where they do that at? Oh, in America. Right. But I mean, you know, like in our little neighborhood, like we have a neighborhood association, we have a black club. It's like very neighborly, even though it is not an all black neighborhood. And the white people, like you see it on Next Door Neighbor, they're good for being like, there's a suspicious black man taking pictures of a house over here and all of this, you know. So it's sort of like, you know, you have on the surface this, I don't even really know if it's an illusion for me. You know, I just try to like be friendly enough. I ain't friend, you know, I don't really, you know, social, you know, I don't really know them like that, but we do have events and stuff. And I go to the events and I usually talk to the black people. And I notice that they usually talk to the white people. And then if you try to chit chat with them, suspicious black man, translation, black man. Exactly. Meghan Markle reportedly has Prince Harry on a strict diet before their wedding, and he's already lost nearly 7 pounds. So is Prince Harry chubby? I don't know. I just think it's interesting that she have him on a diet. Like, I know a lot of times women were like, oh my God, I'm getting married. I have to lose weight and all this other mess. But I didn't know that do men do that? Did y'all lose weight before y'all got married? Were you worried about that? Singapore airport could soon use facial recognition to identify passengers. So I guess you don't need your ID. You don't just come on, walk on through. Black man, and in many cases, black child. That's fake news. What's fake news? Meghan Markle? Singapore airport. Dining while black. A new airplane seat. Listen to this. A new airplane seat that claims to make flights cheaper would basically require passengers to stand up. Now, I could imagine if I was on a 2-hour flight, like I could go to a concert and stand up, Prince Harry BS. I could go to a concert and stand up for a couple of hours. So like, I feel like if it was an airplane and they had like music playing and you were like, you know, for 2 hours, you like, whoop, whoop, you know, it's like a party. I could maybe, but just to like be standing there, hey, August Dreams, just be standing there for 2 hours on the plane. Is that marketable? I don't know. I mean, because I guess people feel like on Spirit Airlines, how small it is. Like, I sit with my legs folded up anyway, and so it's no way. I don't think I take up that much space normally when I sit, so I don't feel crowded on a Spirit Air. But for other people, they feel crowded, and but I don't know. UTA hires Shanique Bonelli Moore as Director of Corporate Communications. I don't know what UTA is. I'll bet the toilet is a bear to use on those flights. I don't know what the joke is, but I want to get it. I don't know what UTA is, but this is like Deadline, and they do like entertainment news. And this Shanique Bonelli Moore, she was like unambiguously Black. So I was just kind of like, oh, that's super duper economy class. They should at least have strap hangers to hold on to Air Subway standing. I know, they probably do. But I mean, even a train ride, you ain't up for more than an hour. Well, I don't know. I can't think of any place I went in the city where, so I don't know. Maybe it's just for short flights. Facebook is turbocharging its plan to invade the workplace by partnering with everyone from Dropbox to Adobe. The FDA warns vaping companies to stop making packages that look like candy after thousands of kids are poisoned. I saw them, and they did look like it was something marketed for children, at least the images that they had on the cover of the article. So I guess that's like how they say the cigarette companies targeted children in their marketing. Facebook plans to launch dating features, and people are freaking out. Some are freaking out in a good way, and some are freaking out in a bad way, because they're like, I don't want, that's too much integration of my whole life. And then other people are like, oh, Facebook does everything great, so they go match me up with my one true love, or one of my true loves. Trump says he's seriously thinking about creating a 6th military branch. Like the blob, it needs to be stopped. Trump says he's seriously thinking about creating a 6th military branch called the Space Force. Now, when we started talking about space about a month ago, and that was he was talking about, he didn't call it the Space Force, but he was like a Space Air Force or whatever. So here it is, looping back around to that. Isn't Instagram the same thing as Facebook, basically, right? If anyone is who they actually present themselves to be on Facebook. Instagram will filter out bullying comments. So I'm like, I wonder what kind of algorithm they have for filtering out the bullying comments, because I already told y'all, when I moderate on YouTube tries to moderate things like Black women need love. They be like, you want to show this comment? I'm like, what is the issue with this comment? Why is the computer, what's the issue here? So is that what, because they seem to have big trouble, when people want to call, us, they seem to can't figure out how to prevent the negative stuff from getting to us, but they trying to prevent the positive. So anyway, I'm not impressed by the idea of them filtering what they filtering shit is. Mark Zuckerberg says there are parts of how Facebook works that even he doesn't fully understand. The algorithm is very subjective because it's written by basically by white men. So they write it from their perspective, and it's skewed as hell. It's skewed to death. Okay, it's 7:38. What time I was supposed to, okay. So that's it for the news. Are there any important stories that I missed? I think it's been about a couple hours since I pulled articles. So Ujamaa cooperative economics. That 6 military branches like Star Wars Part 2, a continuation of Star Wars from the Reagan era. I thought you were talking about thought you were talking about but yeah. Cameroon. Does anybody know anything about Cameroon? Anybody know anything about Cameroon? République du Cameroun. I don't speak French, but I guess that's in French. It's a unitary republic of Central and Western Africa. It's bordered by Nigeria, French. It's bordered by Nigeria to the west. Chad. Ooh. I think of Chad as like a white person's name, but all of a sudden I'm like, hey, there is a country called Chad. Chad to the northeast, the Central African Republic to the east, and Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and the Republic of Congo. Great broadcast, Angeles. We've got to get you up to those 1,000 subs. You should be double that by now. No, it's all in divine order. I should be exactly where I am. It's all in divine order. Trust and believe. But I appreciate your support and your amplification, because it always makes a difference. I notice, people are like, Iapo, people mention, And I mean, I always learn about different people from different people. So it's good. I said what I said. Now. The territory of present-day Cameroon was first settled during the Neolithic. The longest continuous inhabitants are groups such as the Baka, B-A-K-A. I've never heard of the Baka. Baka. The Sao culture arose around Lake Chad. S-A-O, Sao culture arose around Lake Chad circa AD 500 and gave way to the Kanem, K-A-N-E-M, and its successor state, the Bomu Empire, B-O-M-U Empire kingdoms. It's like no bells ringing. This is very interesting. Okay. There was some question about whether to reunify with French Cameroon or join Nigeria. In May 1957, André Marie Mbida. I told a friend in Detroit about your channel earlier today. I told her how wonderful you are. Oh, I wonder if I know her. Who is she? Yay! I love Detroit. Andre Marie Mbida became Cameroon's first prime minister on 1 January 1960. French Cameroon gained independence from France. One of the best endowed primary commodity economies in sub-Saharan Africa. I don't even know what that means. A primary commodity economy? What are commodities? I don't know what a commodity is, but I've heard the term. Like, is that like pig fortunes? What you going for? I feel like hold on one second. Oh, I guess I'll just have to read it on the replay. Let me stay focused because I gotta go. I gotta eat. I gotta go. Because I gotta be right back. And I gotta watch Married at First Sight. Still, it faces many of the top-heavy. Okay, whatever. Cameroon is a source, transit, and destination country for women and children trafficked for the purpose of forced labor and commercial sexual exploitation. Most victims are children trafficked within country, with girls primarily trafficked for, I'm assuming, sex. Tier 2 watch list. What's this Tier 2 watch list? For its failure to provide evidence of increasing efforts to combat human trafficking in 2007. I don't know what these Tier 1, Tier 2, I never heard of this watch list, particularly in terms of efforts to prosecute and convict trafficking offenders. While Cameroon reported, oh no, my battery is low. Her name is Marsha. I don't know what her YouTube account is called. I don't know if I know any Marshas. It seemed like I might know one Marsha, but she's not, it's not like jumping to my head. Independent republic on the west coast of Africa with a population of 13 million from 1884 until 1960. Have you been to Black Swan Espresso yet? To 1916, it was under German rule. Ooh, now we were talking yesterday about the Belgium, how few, when I think of like the colonialization of Africa, I think of the English, I think of the French, with Brazil, you think of the Portuguese, with South Africa, the Boers. Who are they? Are they from Amsterdam? Who are those people? But the Germans, are they the Boers? Yeah, I don't think of the Germans being in that mix at all. It was under German war after the First World War. French administered East Cameroon. My phone, if my Boers are the Dutch. Oh, the Dutch, like Amsterdam. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why. Because I spent a minute in Amsterdam, so that's probably somehow I got a Cameroon is triangular in shape, a coastal strip. Okay, so let me just say this: be you, be fabulous, be fabulous. You, today is the best day ever. Thank you so much for being here. Because I don't have my charger for my tablet down here, and I just got notification that my thing is about to die. If we die, if it's over, it's over. But know that I love you and I appreciate you for being here. And I'm not leaving. Yeah, peace. But I'm gonna keep talking. It's triangular in shape, a coastal strip of 10 to 50 miles wide on the southwest is covered with swamps and dense tropical rainforest. It has one of the wettest climates in the world. So what country has one of the wettest climates in the world? Cameroon. Are we going to remember that? Yay. Oh, the Bakas, the Baka, they're saying they're pygmies. Those were some of the earliest inhabitants of Cameroon. They still inhabit the forests of the south and the east provinces. Bantu speakers originating in the Cameroonian highlands were among the first group to move out before other, much love. Thank you all for coming. Before other invaders. So also throw in the comments what you're looking forward to. I am truly looking forward to the Married at First Sight reunion today, even though I feel like 2.5 hours is a bit extreme, and getting some sleep. It's a diverse and multi-ethnic country. Tourism, Western tourism is rare. So maybe that's the place to consider going. Western tourism is rare. Oh, most of the country's tourists come from Europe, predominantly Belgium. That's not Western tourism. A rich choice when it comes to good beer due to its past as a German and later French colony. Bottled Guinness. Yeah, I don't drink beer. Oh, yeah. You'll visit. Hopefully, you're going to definitely visit. Yeah. Cameroon's tourist industry is a victim of geography. It sits in a tough neighborhood bordered by some problematic countries. But this shouldn't put you off, as Cameroon really has just about everything a traveler could want. One of the most culturally diverse countries. So Cameroon, maybe we need to think about Cameroon. See, I don't know how this is written, but every once in a while, it's like a really interesting sentence in here. Okay. The music of Cameroon is among the most popular in Africa, especially Makossa. I never heard of Makossa. It's the most popular music in Africa. It's among the most popular music in Alkebulan. Makossa. Makossa, how you say it? I gotta Google, I gotta YouTube it. A popular dance rhythm you'll hear blaring out of clubs and discos. Okay. It's adaptable to a wide variety of instrumentation, from traditional thumb pianos to guitars and synthesizers. Palm wine capital. The palm wine capital is Batibo. by Tebow. Keep smearing. It's a hinge state bridging Central and Western Africa. Home to over 250 ethnic and linguistic groups with the cultures of both. Okay. With both the Central and Western regions mingling. Although there are tensions, they have a strong central government dominated by a single party. Corruption is widespread, blah, 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 blah. Anglophone community has grown increasingly alienated from the government. Oh. Big game hunters. Don't go over there killing no animals. Fully autonomous government. Amadou Ahijo. That's the fully autonomous government. Get your money right, man. Get your money right. Okay. 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 All right. So that's it. That's what we got for Cameroon. Who's going to Cameroon? I might go to Cameroon. Many of us would have to depend on it. I don't know. Okay, yeah. I might go to Cameroon. This sounds kind of interesting. I'm going to Africa. They want to go back to South Africa. So I guess I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Today, again, is the best day ever. It is on purpose and intentional that we are all here together right now. Those who have come, those who have gone, those who will come later on the replay. Do you remember the end of "Wanna Be Starting Something"? Mama say mumakasa. I can't get it, but yeah, kind of. I can hear it. Is that the music we were talking about that I've already forgotten that I said I was gonna look up? So those who are going to come later and join us in spirit, all, blessings to all who are here, who aren't here, who are coming, who aren't coming. It's all good. It's all God. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. Be blessed. Be the blessing that you are. Go out and enjoy Makusa. Go out and enjoy, all of the rest of the wonderful day. I hope it's a beautiful day there because it was a beautiful day here. I sat outside for about an hour and a half, and that might be why I'm feeling a little under the gun in terms of getting stuff done, but it was worth it because the sun was just, do I have a tan? I think I have a tan. All right. I think that's it. Peace.